Alright guys, trying to keep the videos more current here. I was on the dyno yesterday. I'm losing my days here. I just slammed everything back together. I ran over to the dyno and threw this pig on with the aluminum motor right here, in here. And I made about 480 horsepower on low boost, which was like 8 pounds. I turned it right up to about 18, made a second pull, and it made like 570. So obviously there's some issues there. That's extremely mediocre amount of horsepower per pound of boost for this kind of setup. So what I ended up doing was just yanking this thing out, and we'll see. I wanted to inspect everything and go over a bunch of shit. And I'm talking to everybody on the sloppy group, and one of the only things we can come up with is, is it this converter? Because I'll use a statement that I heard that Jay from Real Street Performance, new means never ever worked, meaning it's never been tested, it's not known as good, you have no idea what will happen, etc. So this is that brand new converter from my buddy Mark, and Ultimate Shift or Perfect Shift or a winner's choice made for me to test, and we just don't know. Is that the issue? Is it not the issue? I have no clue. We don't know. That converter didn't come out of a good known working vehicle. So my buddy Jace is awesome, and he has his car down for some modifications right now, and he basically was like, hey, I'll give you a $2,500 converter that works. Absolutely. He goes like mid to low fives in the 8th and makes 4-digit horsepower. So I'll throw that guy in and see what the hell happens. And if power goes way up, we need to figure out what the hell is wrong with this guy, or just throw it in the trash, or contact the converter guy and see if they can fix it. And I'm just getting kind of tired of swapping things out. But I'm going to have to give that back because I don't want to pay for it. I just want to try it. Anything, basically at this point I'm sick of spending $500-600 on stuff to see if it'll work with no guarantee. So what's nice is that's known good. So if my car still has an issue, it's something to do with this guy. So we'll take it back out, and I'll put this converter in, since it does the same thing as this one, and we'll put this one in, which is a 99 iron LQ4 6-liter. And instead of what I did before was put these cylinder heads on, because these again are new, never ever worked basically. So we're not sure if these heads were any good. I mean, they seem good. There's no leak down. The valves and everything are good. It seals well. Really, none of it makes sense. It's ultimately frustrating. But what we will do is, I have a set of 317 cylinder heads up here, and this is a 6-liter, so I will put the stock heads on it with stock everything and stock push rods, and check my lash. I even have a set of studs here because I keep reusing all the head bolts and head gaskets. So, I've never had an issue with that before, but people are going to bring it up. So what we're going to do is we're going to put new head gaskets, stock 6-liter head gaskets on here, and put the studs on and click them down and make sure everything's pretty, so there's no fucking excuses. And then the only difference otherwise is this is a 58X motor and this is a 24X motor, which I verified ignition timing, which is all that it's really reading off of that, and it's also fine. So there really shouldn't be an issue with that. Also, when I had this motor in, I had issues. When I first started, it sounded a little dead. It wasn't idling quite like, it sounded like it was missing a cylinder. And I took it for a drive, and it felt like it was missing a cylinder. And when I took it apart, this cylinder was filled with oil, fuel, whatever weird mix. And I did a compression test on all the cylinders, and this one was shit. So I took the piston out, and the second ring was broken. So I had, up in one of my goodie bins here, I had spare 6-liter piston rings, So I put another ring in this motor. So, you know, it's ongoing process here. It's we'll see where I end up at the end of all of this. I don't know what I want to do for a cam. I have the 216 cam up there, but for now I got to do something with this guy. I don't want to use the stock cam, but the only way to know for sure, here's the issue. If we do this converter and this motor and it makes great power, say it easily clears 700 on the teens and boost, it goes over 800 horsepower, awesome, perfect. We don't know if it was the motor or the converter in the car right now that was causing the problem. So, gonna do twice or 3 times the work here, probably 5 times the amount of work, and figure out what the fuck exactly is going wrong. So, those are my next steps. Put this guy back in with that converter, ballin' ass converter from Jace, and see what the hell happens. And then also on top of that, I've done this before already. Everyone keeps coming back to the intercooler. I will check the intercooler again. I'll hook up pipes and pressure gauges and make sure it pressurizes the same. And I'm even considering at this point pulling the intercooler out and filling it with water and seeing if any water leaks out of it anywhere. Just because everyone's saying the intercooler sucks balls. This is the same intercooler that Mark went 7s at 174.5 miles an hour. So I kind of doubt this is not efficient enough. I can agree that if it has a crack in it the size of the San Andreas Fault, I probably would have found it by now, but, you know, stranger things have happened, obviously. So we'll see. I'll pressurize it again. I'll listen for leaks, and I'll turn off everything in the room and check everything out. But that's where we are right now. These are the 6.0 heads that came off. Lake Monster 6-liter Grody Master. So I have a much cleaner set I'm going to put on that I don't have to worry about. And that's it for now. Try to keep you guys up to date.